Hey, it's Darkhood. I'll be talking about the new ESF weapons and the changes that are currently on the PTS and how it affects air combat. Before I start stating my opinion, I want to outline my bias. I'm a pilot, I have 422 hours in the Scythe, and around 40 hours in an MPT. I'm starting to really enjoy infantry combat when I'm not flying. Most of the time, you'll see me going after other air targets, and I don't do air to ground with my Scythe since it's less enjoyable for me. Post-Performance Update 2 brought some very annoying changes to the air missiles and has caused a lot of pilots to become pretty angry with SOE regarding air-to-air balance. I hated them, and I also saw a drastic decrease in pilots in Connery who were flying around due to the air-to-air spam and air squads. It made flying pretty frustrating.
He's still in there. He might get in the turret. You might kill him.
SOE then said the missile tracking from Performance Update 2 was not intended on the PTS right now. Missiles are not only dodgeable again, but are maintained locked. Right, missiles are not just harder to use and less effective now, but almost completely ineffective for any sort of situation.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's him from down.
Most people love it, but I do think 8A had an important role as an easy-to-use weapon that allowed newer players to dish out damage without having to spend several hours just figuring out how to lead a target. Currently on live, though, the damage 8A deals is just too high. That's my take on it. Coyote missiles are a lot of fun. They sit in the sweet spot in terms of difficulty of use. They require a decent amount of time to learn how to use, but doesn't compare to the difficulty of leading with a nose gun. Leading with a missile, finding the right time to launch them, and using it with your nose gun takes a lot of time to get used to. Coyote definitely shrinks the gap between intermediate and ace pilots and adds more variety to their dogfights.
Took me to half health like instantly. Oh.
These are a pretty big effect on dogfights. The missile will hit any ESF nearby its current position. That means you don't want to be staying in the same area too much if you're fighting between someone with coyotes. Something more experienced pilots tend to do is switch between ascend and descend in the same place to throw off aim with nose guns. This doesn't work at all for coyote missiles and forces the pilot to continuously move side to side at long ranges so that the missiles become much less effective. If you happen to get at medium range or close range with coyotes, you'll also notice dogfights will be a lot shorter with that extra damage.
So hard. Plus you're a Scythe.
Coyote missiles by all means are a great addition. The only thing I'd like changed about them is the tracking to be more smooth and to help pilots get out of their way, rather than the current snapping thing they do when they come near ESF. If a missile's coming your direction in even longer ranges, there's nothing you can really do if it was lined up correctly. Their effectiveness at close and medium range is awesome to have, but the long range capabilities and what it forces your opponent to do is definitely controversial. After all, coyotes are close-range missiles.
Airborne target identified.
Yeah, that was good. Well, as long as if he's not shooting at you. Because I'm moving a lot, my aim sucks too.
And now quickly look at Hornet missiles. The balance between air to ground is not something I will go over since my bias as a pilot probably won't help me create a balanced statement. I will say though that these are completely useless in air-to-air combat. I tried dogfighting with them and they are 100% redundant to use at all. It makes sense though because they're a ridiculously effective anti-armor weapon.
Okay.
Is he bad enough for me to 1v1 him?
And also take a quick look at the new nose guns as well.
Don't go that far.
Why do you think you're bad?
They're not very useful for a more experienced pilot, with the exception of having a slightly easier time taking out liberators. However, the spread and large clip size could be very viable for someone who wants a more forgiving weapon to learn how to aim a nose gun.
I think if I gave more attention to dodging, I might be able to do more than just be two-clip by you, but I can't.
I like where these weapons are right now as an easier to use nose gun, and I can see some people preferring to use this nose gun over others for a more sustained and forgiving fire.
That's like one for every other fire.
How much health did you have in that one?
Something else worth mentioning is the new fuel tanks, and how viable they are in comparison to using the new Coyote missiles. While I like that S-Wing made fuel tanks more effective and the default tanks less effective, I still feel someone with Coyote missiles will miss out on a lot of opportunities to dish out damage with them, especially closer ranges. I did a lot of dogfights against the target using fuel tanks, and the fact that I didn't have to fly to evade Coyote missiles made it a lot easier to fight him with the Coyote missiles myself.
I have not a chance to aim because I have to dodge those missiles.
I think afterburners should also have an effect on your velocity while you're using it if you have AP tanks. This might help balance the players using Coyotes and the players using AP tanks in dogfights.
I will go with fly mode.
You keep losing, when you say fly mode, that's losing cover? Is that what you mean? Oh, it started pretty low. Not good for me.
To wrap things out, I have to give SOE some credit for doing a great job of adding more depth to the air combat.
Oh no, those things
I love all the changes, and I don't have much criticism for them. Listening to the player base by not adding any new lock-on weapons and nerfing the current ones is a relief, as some of us are starting to get the impression that SOE didn't care about air combat from Performance Update 2.
I wasn't even trying to dodge, I was trying to get you to fire before I got to fire. Wasn't a good tactic.
I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of these changes on the live server.
Oh god, that's Yeah, good fight.
Gun is over fucking powered.